Jason F. Smith here, Dharma Talk, September 21st, 2016. This morning I talked to you about trust. Tonight we're going to talk a little about death. To me, death is the essential masculine practice. I want to look at it a little differently, however, than what you might be used to. Some people have taught that the masculine is death. That this nothingness, this openness, this stillness, this width is death, and that the men are at home with death. I don't think, and when I say men, I mean men who are very masculine in nature, who are practicing, who are identifying with their masculine archetype. I don't think anything could be further from the truth. Awareness, consciousness, the process of seeing is infinite. It is endless, boundless. It is always there. Death is an ending. After you die, and there's the nothingness maybe, but in our world, in the appearing side of the world, the feminine side, death is a feminine attribute. It is change, life, death. It is the tree that dies and falls in the forest, decomposes, and out of the rich compost rises a new tree. This is the life and death cycle. Death is feminine. Death is a woman. Death is intimately tied to sex, to life. When a man is in his absolute witness mode, now I'm going to use the word man here for the masculine and woman for the feminine. It could be either one. A woman could be in it, but it's hard to say both, and it's hard to go back and forth. But here's the caveat, that the umbrella statement that a woman could be in her masculine and often is, just as much as a man is in his feminine, and so forth. So a man who is deep, deep into awareness is nowhere near death. He's in the infinite openness of seeing. Hence, a man's practice, the essential masculine practice, is to face death, is to face life, is to enter into something where something could end, where if you stay away from that practice, a man will be aloof, will be out, will be wide, will not care, will not engage. Most men lean towards the awareness side of the equation, and so they have a aloofness to them, a disconnection. And so the essential masculine practice is to turn towards death and to go into it. And that is the same as saying turning towards the feminine and going towards it. And that is why the feminine, as represented by the female, is essentially the scariest thing a man has to face. Particularly in this day and age when mammoths don't walk the land anymore. And you don't have to go hunting the saber-toothed tigers. In today's day and age, women, and in all ages, but more today, represent life and death. The core survival, evolved life and death cycle. The ending. It is thus that we as men approach our women. And what they feel in us essentially is our fear of them. And through them, what they represent, and death. And what they fear in themselves is that collie-like ability to kill. Not just chop off a head, but to animate and to activate the absolute feminine power of life and death. They're so intimately tied to life. You can't have one without the other. You flip the coin and they're intimately in their pussies, in their vaginas, intimately connected to death. What is a woman's menstrual cycle? But an egg come forth to be fertilized into life, and if it is not fertilized, it dies and is ejected. Monthly, they are in a life and death cycle. They're intimately connected to it in ways that men are not, and hence we fear them and we fear the death that they represent underneath that. And hence the essential masculine practice is to lean into death, to get intimately aware of it in your woman, in the world, everywhere. Because the masculine genius is not death. The masculine genius is not death. They are as further away from death as can be. They are in the infinity of watching and not participating. Hence, to participate, to dive into you, to stand up to the feminine, to be with it, to move it, to manipulate it, to work with it, to dance with it, to behold it, to worship it, takes activity, takes penetration, and hence is a deep and abiding acknowledgement of your death. No one is better than a man at hiding from death. Women aren't afraid of death. It is men who are afraid of death. Everything they build, their little empires, are to avoid death.